I get around $2,000 to $4,000 a month, which is great passive income. It's been increasing slightly since I started. It is actually quite stable. Okay, so it is 8 a.m. I do have a day ahead of me. I'm in my home office. I've made myself a cup of coffee, and you are going to have a look at what I do in a day as a remote software engineer. I'll go through some projects, how much I get paid, etc. So let's do it. That there is my dog sleeping. He obviously has a great day ahead of him. As a freelancer, there's usually a lot of different projects that I work on, and I'll go through examples of them, but I usually tend to do the most important projects in the morning just to get it over and done with. By most important, I mean the ones that are definitely making me the most money, the most consistent clients, etc. So this here is an example of what I typically work on. It is a reporting system for the client. So I am a data analyst, and usually the stuff that I work on involves data analytics and building a reporting system or an application so that the client can view the analytics. So this example here, the client, they just want a debtors report. So they perform a service on the customer, and the customer needs to pay for that service. Obviously, sometimes the customers don't pay for the service. So to give you an idea of what I developed, they keep track of the customer bills through a platform, just a normal software as a service platform. And this platform automatically sends an email every day just detailing the customer's bills. So I have a Python script that connects to the Gmail API. It automatically pulls those emails based on the subject line, etc., and then gives me the data in a data frame. Once I have that data frame, I'm able to analyze the data, create calculations, determine, which customers haven't paid, how much the business has billed, etc. And then I actually need to send this information in a way that looks nice to the client. So what I do is I pre-package this into an HTML email, again use the Gmail API, and then send this report in an email format to the client, and it looks like this. So this script actually runs daily on a scheduler, so I use Python anyway, and it sends updated data in a nice email to the client every day. They're very happy with it. So today, what is on my list is that I need to add some reports to this email that have been requested by the client. So I'll spend the next few hours making this change. Okay, so it's about 11 o'clock now. I've done most of my changes, so I'm happy with my progress for the day. I am just going to actually go to the gym and just get out of the office a bit. Okay, so I am back from the gym. And what I'm going to do is actually make some coffee, and then we can chat about my finances and how much money I make. Okay, so it is about 12:30 now. I just want to take a quick break with my cup of coffee and actually chat about how much I get paid as a freelance software engineer. So the work that I did in the morning, that is a billable project, and that project will cost about $1,500 to $2,000 a month, depending on how much I do. Generally, I'll have about 3 active clients a month, and that makes me work for about 20 to 30 hours a week. And the level of projects I choose generally are ones that obviously aren't too complicated. I'm a freelance software engineer, it's just myself, but usually is for small businesses who want things like reporting platforms and suites, and they just want their data analytics to be more automated, just to be more accessible. How I bill is based on how much work I'm doing. So if the client has an additional request, a new feature, that's billable work that I need to do. And I will say, hey, this will be about 20 to 30 hours. This is my hourly rate. And that's how I make up the $1,500 to $2,000 figure. Now, I must say that it also depends on the intensity. Easier projects cost less than obviously the complicated ones as well, and I just speak to my clients about it. In my actual pipeline, I like to have about 8 to 10 active clients. So remember, as a freelance software engineer, you'll develop and you'll complete your project, and hopefully the client will call you back either to extend the project or do something new. That is how the business model works. Always make sure that I am communicating well, my work is polished, I really just meet deadlines, I'll give them a really, really great service that's personal that they won't get from a bigger software engineering company. So most of my clients are repeat clients with a few new ones. The new ones I get are from word of mouth generally, which is why networking is so important. Okay, so enough of a break. I actually need to go back and do some work. Okay, so I'm heading to my home office now. I'm about to do my afternoon work, which is very different to my morning work. So the first thing I do after my break is just some progress calls with my clients. So in my business, keeping clients happy is just number one priority. I do like to either call them or email them just on what my progress has been for their specific project. So I do this weekly, so I try and make contact at least weekly and sometimes more than once a week, depending on the client. And usually I just send an email. If it's something priority, I will call them. If you are interested, here's an example of a project update where I just cover what I've completed last week and what I have to do this week so that the stakeholder and the client is not surprised. I then have a section on any setbacks, so if there was any issues that took longer than expected. And then I just make sure that the client knows that we are on track in terms of billable hours. So I am spending 15 hours this week for this specific project. And last month I spent 45 hours. So I will send an invoice to the client probably today for those 45 hours billed for last month. So it's about 2 o'clock now. I still have 4 hours left in my day. I tend to work an 8 to 9 hour day. And as a freelancer, I make sure that I do have some passive income projects that are bringing in money. So these are projects where I can work on them once and they bring income consistently. So the first passive income I do is online teaching. I teach online courses on data analytics and coding. So what I do is I create the course, form the content, and then I sell it privately through my own websites or through marketplaces like Udemy and Skillshare. Now it is decent money. I'll show you how much I make in a bit, but I must say that creating online courses is not for everyone and it is a lot of effort upfront. I also want to note that this online course creation business is about 4 years old now. I only started freelancing and leaving my full-time job 1 year ago. So I started earning some passive income before I left my full-time job. And it really does take a while to get passive income started. But if you are considering a career where you are going to become a freelance software engineer, consider starting with passive income like tomorrow. And it can be anything. It can be creating courses online, starting social media in the event that you can monetize it, buying a content creation website, building an app, whatever. It's just another way to guarantee income. And I always make sure that I am working on a passive project. Now, in terms of how much I get paid on passive income projects. So for my online and teaching courses, I get around $2,000 to $4,000 a month, which is great passive income. It's been increasing slightly since I started. It is actually quite stable. I also have social media accounts like my TikTok, my Instagram account, etc. And they bring in about $1,000 a month. And the good thing here about the passive projects is that I don't feel pressure doing them. There's no deadlines. It is quite light work. Whereas if you are working on projects that are billable hours, working with a client is hard, it's stressful, there's deadlines, there's expectations. So all in all, I think my passive income, which includes the courses, social media, brings me about $4,000 a month. Some months are really great. Some months I'll get really good sponsorships or my courses will just do well and sometimes I get double that. Some months are bad. It is part of my job as a freelance software engineer, so I will spend a few hours a day creating content like what I'm doing now and just building that passive income flow. So that is an 8 to 9 hour day. It is still flexible, which is the benefit of being a freelance software engineer. I am my own boss as well, which is great, but it is still a full day. It is basically running your own business. It's just one person. That being said, if you are interested in becoming a freelance software engineer, just know that it's not all about coding on the beach and going on holiday all the time. That's probably just the 1%. It is quite a lot of work, but it is on your terms. If you like this content, if you want to see more vlogs, let me know. Please subscribe. Please like. please comment for the algorithm. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.